Chosen one, before your thumb moves to scroll past this, I need you to stop and listen to my voice. This specific moment on your screen is not the result of a random algorithm. It is not a coincidence. Heaven has literally bent the rules of time to place this urgent message directly in your path right now. There is a reason you are hearing this today. A spiritual alarm has been sounded over your life. Someone or something is planning terrible harm against you in the unseen realm. They have been watching your progress. They have been studying your steps, and they are terrified of the season you are about to enter. You feel it in the air, do you not? That invisible tension that follows you through the day. The quiet and persistent heaviness in your chest makes you feel like something is wrong, even when nothing has happened yet. Do not ignore this feeling. Your body is not betraying you. You are not losing your mind. Do not scroll away from this screen. What you skip today may be the exact answer you begged me for in secret. If you walk away now, you are walking away from the specific protection heaven designed for this exact moment. The window of this divine alignment is incredibly narrow. Stay with me, right here. The enemy operates in the shadows of your doubt. He wants you to believe that this heavy exhaustion is just normal stress. He wants you to think that your financial struggles are your own fault. But I am stepping into your storm today to break that lie. You are under a coordinated spiritual attack. He did not target your finances and your peace because you are weak. He attacked you because you are a cycle breaker. He knows that the inheritance deeded to your name will change your entire bloodline forever. That is why the resistance feels so incredibly heavy right now. You are a massive threat. Breathe slowly with me now. The battle is raging around you, but you do not have to fight it alone. I have seen the nights you stayed awake. I have watched you staring at the ceiling and calculating numbers in the dark. You are suffocated by the fear of how you will survive another heavy month. No one else sees how close you are to breaking. You swallow your tears because you have to be strong for everyone else in the morning. You put on a brave face. You carry the burdens of people who never even ask how you are doing. The weight on your shoulders is real and it is crushing you quietly. But heaven is not blind to your sacrifice. The tears you cried in secret have been gathered as evidence. The judge is preparing to speak on your behalf. Do not let the darkness steal the prophetic word I am about to release over your life today. A massive shift is occurring in the spiritual realm. This is why your presence here is a divine appointment. The adversary tried to distract you before you clicked. He whispered that this is just another generic video on the internet. He wants you to keep scrolling so you remain unprotected. But you felt a pull in your spirit to stay. That pull was my voice. Listen closely now, because I speak with absolute authority. You have lived in survival mode for so long, you are constantly waiting for the next bad news to drop. Your nervous system no longer knows how to recognize peace. You overthink every tiny decision. You are terrified that one wrong step will ruin everything. Hear my voice clearly today. You cannot ruin what I have called you to just by being human. The trap that was set for you has been exposed in the light. The people planning your downfall are about to watch you walk right into your greatest season of harvest. Stay in this room with me, hold your ground. In the next few minutes, I will reveal exactly how they tried to break you. I will show you the specific key to lock them out of your life forever. Lay down your heavy defense for just a moment. Let me show you what I saw last night when you thought you were completely alone in the dark. Let me speak to something very tender now. Something you have carried quietly for so long. I need you to notice your own body right in this exact moment. Your jaw is completely clenched tight right now. Your shoulders are pulled up tight against your neck. You are bracing for an impact that you cannot even see, and you have been walking around like a tired soldier stuck in deep enemy territory. I know exactly why you are carrying this physical armor. I saw what happened last night when the house finally went completely quiet. You sat on the edge of the bed and stared into the dark. You felt the crushing weight of bills and endless responsibilities. And you swallowed your tears because you did not want anyone else to hear you breaking while they were sleeping peacefully. No one sees the deep exhaustion hidden behind your tired eyes. They only see the strong person who always shows up to help. You wake up every single morning and put on a brave face for them. You smile to keep others comfortable while your own spirit is bleeding. You are so incredibly tired of being the strong one all the time, but you keep pushing forward because you feel like you have no other choice. You feel a quiet and persistent pressure in your chest today. It is a heavy somatic ache that simply will not go away. You think it is just normal stress from a very busy life, but ordinary stress does not make you want to hide from the entire world. This specific heaviness is the physical result of intense spiritual warfare, because a hidden force is actively trying to break your focus and steal your deep peace. I have watched you overthinking every tiny detail of your life. You replay old conversations in your head and wonder what you did wrong. You feel a desperate urge to explain your heart to people who misunderstand you. The first sign of this attack is that deep pressure to defend yourself. You just want to prove your innocence to them, but heaven is asking you to lay down your weapons and stop fighting a battle that is not yours. Your nervous system has been hijacked by this constant waiting. You are living in a permanent state of survival and deep fear. Every time your phone rings, your heart beats just a little bit faster. You are terrified that it is another unexpected bill or another piece of bad news. The darkness wants you to believe that peace will never return, but I am standing right here to promise you that the heavy storm is finally breaking. I saw you trying to pray when your mind was entirely scattered. I saw the deep shame you felt when the words would not come out. You thought your faith was failing because your body was so incredibly tired. But I never asked you to carry the weight of the entire world alone. Your exhaustion is a symptom of carrying things I never assigned to you, and you must release those heavy burdens back to me before they crush your spirit completely. This physical pain is the enemy trying to distract your focus. He wants you so focused on your tired muscles that you miss the miracle. He knows that a distracted mind cannot receive a massive prophetic download, and you are standing right at the edge of the greatest financial shift of your life. He is desperate to make you surrender before the blessing arrives, because he has seen the massive inheritance that is already waiting for you on the other side. Let me speak directly to that hidden ache right now. I am bringing complete validation to your unseen and silent struggles. You are not crazy for feeling this heavy invisible tension everywhere you go. It is real, and it has a very specific source in the unseen realm. The enemy is actively clashing over the massive inheritance that belongs to you, and the tension in your body is simply the shockwave of that spiritual collision. Pause for a moment and give your physical body permission to rest. Drop your heavy shoulders away from your ears right now. Take one slow and deep breath to signal absolute safety to your mind. You do not have to perform for heaven to earn my deep love. I need your holy silence so I can finally clear the room for your harvest, and you must trust that I am fighting the hidden battles while you rest peacefully. I need you to understand something very clearly right now. There is a massive difference between a random struggle and a coordinated spiritual attack. You thought the recent chaos was just bad luck. You looked at your empty bank account and blamed yourself for failing. But I am here to reframe everything you think you know about this painful season. The darkness is not playing a random game with your life. The enemy did not target your finances and your peace because you are weak. He attacked you because he is absolutely terrified of the destiny written on your life. He has watched your bloodline suffer for generations, and he knows you are the exact person chosen to finally break that bitter cycle. That is why the resistance against you feels so incredibly fierce right now. You are a massive danger to his kingdom. Earlier I warned you about someone planning terrible harm against you. You wondered who would want to see you fail. The truth is that the attack is not coming from a single human enemy. It is a spiritual force using the people around you as desperate tools. They are trying to drain your energy, so you give up right before the harvest arrives. The unseen realm is clashing violently over your incoming blessing. Stop looking at your current exhaustion as a sign of your defeat. A petitioner stands at a counter and begs for mercy, but a warrior stands in the fire and forged their ultimate weapon. You are not a victim of this heavy circumstance. You are the chosen one walking through a necessary training ground. The fire was never sent to destroy you. It was sent to completely burn away the survival mindset that kept you small. You have felt incredibly isolated and misunderstood lately. People you trusted have suddenly turned their backs on you. You thought you did something wrong to push them away. But let me reveal the architecture of this exact moment. Heaven is intentionally clearing out your circle to protect your massive future. God is removing the small minds who cannot handle the immense weight of the blessing coming your way. The enemy is trying to keep your focus on the physical problems. He wants you obsessing over unpaid bills and broken relationships. He knows that if you look at the natural world, you will panic. But I need you to lift your eyes to the spiritual reality right now. You are a CYCLE breaker standing on the edge of victory, and the darkness always fights the hardest right before the final door is permanently opened. Breathe out that heavy and toxic guilt right now. You must stop apologizing for the space you take up in this world. The delays in your life were never a punishment for your past mistakes. You thought God was angry with you because the answers took so long. That is a vicious lie planted in your mind to keep you completely paralyzed. Your delayed harvest is simply a sign of its massive and unprecedented scale. They threw you into the deep waters expecting you to drown. They watched you struggle and thought they had finally won, but they did not realize they were pushing you directly toward your destiny. You learned how to breathe under the massive pressure. You discovered a holy strength you never knew you possessed. Every single attack designed to destroy you has only made you more dangerous to the forces of darkness. Hold that truth in your spirit and do not let it slip away. The exhaustion you feel is the physical proof of your intense spiritual value. You are a walking vault of untouched heavenly wealth. The enemy is panicking because his time to control your bloodline is officially over. Stand tall and recognize the absolute power you carry. You are the nightmare the darkness was warned about centuries ago. Listen closely to my voice because this is vital. Do not let the distraction of this world pull your eyes away. You are carrying an anointing that makes demons tremble when you wake up. You must stop acting like a helpless victim in a story you are meant to rewrite. In a few moments, I will show you why heaven remained completely silent during your darkest hour. There is a deep mystery you need to understand. Let me speak to the quiet fear you have been hiding from everyone. You have been praying so hard lately. You asked for a clear sign. You begged for just a tiny drop of relief, and all you heard back was an agonizing silence. The sky felt like it was made of solid brass. You felt completely abandoned by the one who promised to protect you while you were bleeding in the dark. You watched other people receive their massive blessings effortlessly. They did not have to fight the way you fought. They did not have to cry the tears you cried. And the enemy whispered that heaven must be angry with you. He told you that you were simply not worthy of a miracle. He made you believe that my deep silence was a harsh punishment for every tiny mistake you made when you were just trying to survive. I saw you searching your own heart for hidden flaws. You tried to be a better person. You tried to give more to others. You thought that if you just worked harder, you could finally earn my attention. But you are exhausting yourself at the wrong counter. You are trying to bargain for crumbs when a massive inheritance has already been deeded to your name. The isolation you feel right now is incredibly deep, and it is a lonely place where nobody truly understands the immense pressure you carry every day. You want to surrender, but you do not know how to stop fighting. Your mind is trapped in a loop of endless worry. Why does the rescue always seem delayed when your fragile heart is breaking into pieces? I am about to answer that painful question right now. This is a divine mystery the darkness desperately wants to hide from you. Do not let this revelation slip past you. Your delay is not a sign of heaven turning its back on your tears. The painful wait is actually a profound piece of spiritual architecture. There is a hidden reason why I let the room get so quiet while the enemy laughed. I am speaking directly to your broken spirit today to heal that specific wound. Before I explain the silence, I need your physical compliance, because a true breakthrough requires you to step into complete agreement with the spiritual realm. Gently type the numbers 777 in the comments below. This is your covenant with heaven today. It is your signed acknowledgement that you are ready to receive the absolute truth. Leave your mark as a rightful heir right now. You are a precious child who has carried too much for too long. You thought your pain was completely invisible to me. You thought your silent prayers were bouncing off the ceiling and fading into empty space. But I caught every single word that left your lips. I felt the sharp ache in your chest every time you watched another heavy door shut firmly in your face. The enemy wants you to stay in this heavy sorrow. He wants your soul anchored to the false belief that you are a forgotten orphan. He points at your empty hands and laughs at your foolish faith. He wants you to give up on the massive promise just moments before the heavenly delivery finally arrives at your doorstep. But his entire kingdom is built on fragile lies and cheap illusions. I need you to stay with me as we cross this threshold. Do not let the distraction of your current reality blind you to the unseen truth. The silence was never an empty void of nothingness. The silence was a busy construction zone in the spiritual realm. You felt abandoned because you could not see the massive scaffolding being erected around your entire future to protect your wealth. You have been mourning a season that was designed to save your life. You cried over connections that heaven intentionally severed to keep you completely safe from hidden harm. You wept over a lack of provision when God was actually starving out the leeches attached to your money. The profound silence you hated was the sound of a holy surgical procedure, and you survived the deepest cut. Let me reveal the exact architecture of the silence you hated so much. You thought I was angry. You thought I was completely ignoring your tears, but your unanswered prayers were never a harsh rejection. I was fiercely protecting your destiny, and I was busy working in the unseen realm because your massive future was at a terrible risk. The massive blessing I have prepared for you requires a very clean environment. You cannot bring toxic people into your season of ultimate harvest. They would poison the water before you even had a chance to drink from it, and that is why the door remained firmly shut for so long. I needed to clear the room completely, and I had to sweep away the hidden enemies before I allowed you to walk inside. There were people in your circle who smiled warmly to your face. They celebrated your small wins. They pretended to be your loyal friends, but they were secretly plotting against your massive success behind your back. Heaven heard the quiet conversations they had when you were not in the room. I saw their hidden envy, and I watched them build a trap for you while you were busy loving them unconditionally. If I had released your financial breakthrough last year, they would have stolen it. They would have drained your resources completely dry. You are too generous for your own good. You always try to save people who are actively trying to drown you. I had to isolate you to break that dangerous habit. Your painful season of intense loneliness was actually a holy quarantine, because I needed to separate you from the poison they carried. The silence was the loud sound of me sweeping the floor of your future. I was aggressively removing the hidden traps from your path. I was cutting off the leeches who only wanted to use your bright energy. You cried over losing them because you did not see the sharp knives. They were hiding those weapons behind their backs, but I stepped in and saved you from a fatal wound before they could strike. Stop calling your heavy exhaustion a sign of weak faith. You are not failing. You are simply exhausted from the surgical procedure heaven performed on your life. It takes massive physiological energy to survive a spiritual extraction. Your body is extremely tired because your soul was just rescued from a burning building, and your nervous system is finally learning how to rest. Breathe out that heavy guilt and let it disappear completely. You thought my silence meant you were not a worthy vessel. You thought you needed to pray harder and become a perfect person, but I do not need your exhausted perfection. I only needed your proximity while I fought the hidden demons on your behalf. You were never abandoned in that dark place, and I was standing right beside you, holding the walls up while you wept. The adversary is absolutely furious right now. He wanted you to walk into the arrival season with those toxic spies. He planned to use their negative voices to drain your new wealth instantly, but heaven blocked his wicked strategy by isolating you in the quiet wilderness. His dark plan is entirely ruined because I refuse to let him steal the inheritance that rightfully belongs to your bloodline. This is exactly where many chosen ones turn back and give up. They feel the sharp ache of the isolation and call it a mistake. They run back to the familiar pain because the holy silence feels uncomfortable. Do not make that tragic choice today. Stay with me in this clean and empty room, and watch how quickly I fill it with blessings that bring no sorrow. The divine delay was your ultimate rescue mission. You were waiting for a miracle while I was preparing a massive empire. An empire cannot be handed to someone who still tolerates traitors. I had to elevate your mindset before I elevated your bank account. You had to learn how to walk like a true ruler, because the wealth coming to you requires a very strong foundation. Your deep somatic ache is finally beginning to make sense. The heavy fog in your mind was the pressure of letting go. It hurts to release the things you thought you desperately needed. But the empty space in your life is not a permanent void of lonely sorrow. It is a glorious landing pad for unprecedented grace, and it will soon become the exact place where your greatest miracle happens. I want you to feel the massive relief of this profound vindication. You did nothing wrong to cause this heavy delay. You were simply a patient waiting on the operating table of heaven. The toxic elements have been completely removed from your timeline. The infection is gone, and you are finally clean and ready to receive everything the enemy tried to keep away from you. Listen closely, because the atmosphere is shifting right now. Do not let this vital sentence slide past you. The heavy season of isolation is officially breaking off your tired shoulders. The people who were meant to harm you have been permanently relocated. They cannot touch your harvest anymore, while you step safely into a season of ultimate protection and profound peace. The room of your future has been completely swept clean, but right now you feel an entirely different kind of heavy pressure building up inside your chest. You feel like a rubber band that has been stretched to its absolute limit. You wake up feeling like you are about to snap under the invisible weight, but you are not breaking today. You are being completely expanded to hold the massive blessing. You are standing on the most critical threshold of your entire life. Behind you is the old cycle of bitter survival and endless debt. In front of you is the arrival of your ultimate harvest season, and you are caught right in the middle of these two massive realities. The intense tension you feel is the physical gravity of crossing from the wilderness into your promised land. The darkness is staging its final and most desperate attack right here at the borderline. The enemy knows that if you take one more step forward, his control over your bloodline is permanently destroyed. That is why the spiritual resistance feels so incredibly thick and suffocating right now. He is throwing everything he has at you because he is absolutely out of time. He wants you to look at the heavy obstacles and turn back around. He wants you to believe that the promised harvest is just a cruel illusion. But I need you to understand the architecture of this specific pressure. A massive spiritual birth is happening in the unseen realm right now. The extreme pain you feel is simply the final contraction before the glorious miracle is delivered to your hands. Do not let this vital sentence slide past you today. Your financial breakthrough is already fully authorized by heaven. The vault has been unlocked and the heavy doors are swinging wide open. But there is one final and specific key you are missing to walk safely into that room. There is a specific mandate the enemy desperately hoped you would never discover in this lifetime. I am going to place that exact key into your hands before this short message ends. But first, you must align your physical actions with your spiritual authority. You cannot walk into the arrival season carrying the heavy mindset of the exhausted wilderness. You must drop your ragged survival armor right here at the door. An heir does not enter the palace crawling on their hands and knees. Gently press the like button on this video right now. This is not a random internet interaction. This is your physical covenant with heaven today. It is your deliberate choice to agree with the prophetic word and say yes to the holy transition. Leave your mark on this threshold to prove to the darkness that you are no longer afraid of the heavy pressure. The extreme compression you are experiencing is the ultimate proof of your massive value. A cheap item is never guarded by a heavy security force. The enemy deployed his strongest forces to block your path because the wealth waiting for you is unprecedented. You are carrying a generational blessing that will completely erase the tears of your ancestors, and the darkness is terrified of your power. I see you standing at the door with trembling hands. I know you are tired and I know you want to sit down. But you have walked too far through the bitter fire to surrender in the final hour. The heavy fog in your mind is just the physiological weight of crossing this massive border. Your brain is struggling to process the immense scale of the miracle that is about to unfold. Stay with me in this holy space. Do not scroll away and do not let your focus drift. The heavy tension is about to snap and the massive compression is about to release. You are standing exactly where you need to be for the shift to happen. Heaven is aligning the final pieces of your puzzle. Gather your remaining strength and prepare your spirit for the ultimate revelation. Let me completely shatter the illusion that has kept you paralyzed in fear. You have spent the last season running from an enemy who is terrified of you. The deep anxiety you feel in your chest is not even your own fear. It is a desperate projection of the panic happening in the unseen realm right now. They know their wicked time is officially over. I am placing the ultimate key into your hand exactly as I promised. Stop standing at the counter of heaven like an exhausted beggar asking for tiny crumbs. The transactional religion that taught you to grovel and plead is entirely finished today. You do not have to negotiate for a miracle when a massive inheritance has already been deeded to your name. You are the bold cycle breaker of your entire bloodline. You are the rightful heir to a fortune of peace and unprecedented financial provision. It is time to stand up and square your heavy shoulders. An heir does not hide in the shadows when someone tries to steal their property. An heir steps into the light and reclaims their absolute authority. The people who plotted your downfall made a fatal miscalculation. They looked at your tired eyes and assumed you were finally defeated. They thought your exhaustion was the perfect opportunity to strike a final blow, but they did not realize that a broken vessel is exactly what heaven uses to pour out an uncontainable and devastating holy power. They thought their wicked whispers in the dark were completely hidden from view, but heaven placed a divine microphone in their secret rooms. Every single trap they formed against your finances has been intercepted and permanently destroyed. The pit they dug for your family is the exact hole they are about to fall into themselves. You are completely untouchable in this new season. You do not need to fight them with your own tired hands. You do not need to lower yourself to their miserable level to seek cheap revenge. Your ultimate vindication is the massive table heaven is preparing for you right in front of their very eyes. They will be forced to watch you step into the exact blessing they tried to steal from your life. There is a massive difference between fearful silence and faithful silence. Fearful silence hides in the corner and hopes the storm will pass. But faithful silence stands firmly on the battlefield and watches God move the mountains. You thought true vindication would begin when everyone finally understood your clean heart and apologized for their actions. But true vindication begins when you stop needing every confused person to act as your judge. Heaven is your only judge, and the verdict is already secured. You are not a helpless victim waiting for a rescue boat in the middle of the ocean. You are a fierce spiritual warrior who has been given the supreme authority to walk right over the raging waves. Let that divine truth completely wash over your tired mind right now. The spiritual enemy is entirely out of ammunition today. He fired his absolute best shots at your peace, and you are still standing here breathing. Your survival alone is absolute proof of your holy invincibility. You have survived every single attack they launched against your destiny. Take a deep breath and feel the immense power returning to your physical body. The heavy chains of intimidation are breaking off your wrists forever. You are stepping out of the shadows and walking straight into the blazing light of your arrival season. Prepare your heart for the ultimate revelation, because the heavy door is finally swinging wide open. You are no longer a prisoner to the dark cycles that ruined your ancestors. The generational curses are breaking right at your feet because you dared to hold your ground. The wealth of the wicked is being rapidly transferred into the hands of the righteous right now. Step fully into your designated authority and let the enemy see exactly who you have become. The heavy door of the wilderness is swinging completely open right now. The bitter waiting season is officially over today. You have survived the intense fire and the crushing pressure, and now you are stepping into the glorious light of your ultimate vindication. The massive shift in the unseen realm is no longer a distant promise because it is happening right in this very second. I am upgrading your spiritual identity today. You walked into this moment feeling like an exhausted survivor who barely escaped the storm. You thought you were just lucky to still be breathing, but you are not a helpless survivor begging for a safe place to rest. You are the ultimate heir to a kingdom of endless peace and massive financial provision. An heir does not negotiate with the darkness for a tiny piece of land. An heir walks into the room and takes complete dominion over the entire territory. Your bloodline has been trapped in a cycle of poverty and intense fear for many generations. But that toxic curse officially ends with your life today. You are the chosen cycle breaker of your family. The spiritual enemy cannot touch you anymore. He cannot steal your harvest because your wealth is securely locked inside a heavenly vault, and your new identity is the only key that opens that massive door. The people who plotted against you are watching in absolute horror right now. They realize they pushed you directly into the arms of your greatest miracle. You are completely invulnerable in this new holy season. The weapons formed against your peace will literally melt before they even reach your skin. Heaven has placed a ring of blazing fire around your mind and your resources. You no longer have to wake up in the middle of the night wondering how you will survive the incoming week. The battle is already won. Every single tear you cried in the dark has been converted into massive spiritual equity. The quiet sacrifices you made for others are paying a glorious dividend today. You felt completely empty and drained just a few moments ago, but a sudden rush of divine energy is entering your physical body right now. You are reclaiming the strength the enemy tried to steal. I command you to stand incredibly tall today. Do not shrink yourself to make small-minded people comfortable anymore. You carry a heavy and magnificent anointing that terrifies the forces of darkness. Your voice alone shifts the atmosphere in every single room you enter. You must stop apologizing for the intense light that radiates from your spirit. Heaven is releasing a flood of unexpected provision into your life this week. The delayed blessings are suddenly rushing toward you from every single direction. You will literally see doors opening that you did not even knock on. The people who ignored you yesterday will suddenly reach out to offer you massive and unexplained favors. This is the power of the air. Your days of begging and bargaining are permanently over. You are transitioning into a season of effortless receiving. The profound struggle that defined your past is losing its grip on your mind today. You are walking into a spacious place of deep joy and absolute security. The Father is looking at you with immense pride because you survived the ultimate test of faith. Let this massive revelation settle deeply into your bones right now. You are the untouchable and unbreakable chosen one. The heavy crown of authority is being placed quietly on your head today, and nobody on this earth has the power to remove it from you. You have finally arrived at the glorious destination you have been seeking for so many years. Take full ownership of this magnificent truth today. You are no longer fighting for victory because you are fighting from a position of absolute victory. The dark clouds of confusion have scattered, and the bright sun is shining directly on your path. The enemy has been completely stripped of his power over your life. You are completely free, and you are abundantly wealthy. Let the intensity of this massive revelation settle completely into your physical body. You have carried incredibly heavy things in this short message. Pause exactly where you are right now, and do not rush to the next thought because your mind needs time to completely land. Resist the sudden urge to keep planning. Linger in this quiet and holy space for just a few moments. Put your hand gently over your chest if you are able to do so. Feel the steady rhythm of your own heartbeat under your palm. That beating heart is the absolute proof of your miraculous survival. Take one very slow and deep breath in through your nose right now. Hold that breath for just a second, and then let it out completely into the open air. Feel the heavy armor falling off your tired back with that exhale. You do not need those ragged defensive weapons anymore. Unclench your jaw and let your teeth separate slightly. You have been biting down so hard against the pain of the wilderness. Your face can finally relax because the violent and bitter storm has officially passed you by. Drop your heavy shoulders completely away from your ears. Let them sink down into a natural and restful position. You have been bracing for an impact that is no longer coming to hurt you. The enemy has been permanently removed from your timeline, and there is absolutely nothing left for you to fight or fear in this new space. Uncurl your tight fingers and open your empty hands. A closed fist cannot receive the massive blessing that heaven is trying to pour out. You must transition from the rigid posture of a tired soldier into the soft posture of a loved child. The war is over. You are perfectly safe inside the walls of your new inheritance. Let a wave of profound peace wash over your overactive mind. The toxic fog of confusion is completely dissolving right now. Your nervous system is finally learning that the loud alarms have stopped ringing. You do not have to calculate your survival for tomorrow anymore, because the Creator of the universe is managing your massive provision. Close your eyes for just a second if you feel completely safe. Feel the warm light of divine approval shining directly on your tired face. You did beautifully in the heavy season of testing. You did not break when the pressure was absolutely unbearable. Heaven is incredibly proud of the quiet endurance you showed when you were crying alone in the dark. The anxious energy that used to control your mornings is losing its power. You will wake up tomorrow feeling strangely light and unburdened. The heavy boulder you carried up the mountain has finally rolled away. You can breathe deeply without feeling that sharp and familiar ache in your chest. Your physical vessel is being fully restored, and your weary soul is finally finding a permanent place to rest. Allow yourself to simply exist in this present moment. You do not have to perform any massive spiritual tasks to stay here. You do not have to earn the right to feel this incredible peace. It is a free gift handed directly to the chosen one. Drink this quiet stillness like cold water, because you have survived a brutally long journey through the scorching desert. Every single cell in your body is realigning with this holy frequency. The trauma of the waiting season is being gently washed out of your muscles. You are healing in places you did not even know were deeply wounded. Let the divine surgeon do his delicate work right now, while you rest entirely in his capable and loving hands today. The massive room of your future is quiet and clean and ready. There are no hidden traps waiting for you in the shadows anymore. You are stepping into a profound era of effortless grace and abundant provision. You can finally let your guard down and trust that the ground beneath your feet is completely solid and secure. Rest your weary soul in this beautiful certainty right now. The profound silence you hear today is not a sign of abandonment. It is the glorious sound of absolute victory echoing through the halls of heaven. You are the cycle breaker, and your eternal reward has officially arrived. Stay in this gentle peace for as long as you need. You came into this exact moment feeling like an exhausted beggar. You were terrified that my silence meant a harsh punishment. But now the heavy fog has completely lifted from your mind, and you finally know the absolute truth about your massive destiny. You are the rightful heir to an endless kingdom. The dark anxiety that gripped your chest just a few minutes ago has been entirely washed away by my profound peace. You are standing safely inside a holy sanctuary right now. The spiritual wounds you carried for so many years have been firmly bound and completely healed. Heaven has cleared the toxic enemies from your path, and I have personally secured your massive future against any further attacks. If this specific message has fed your tired spirit today, I invite you to honor this sacred altar. This is your moment to act in faith. A fearful person hoards their resources because they expect another winter of starvation. But a confident heir plants a seed because they know the massive harvest is already guaranteed by heaven. Kindly plant a financial seed through the Super Thanks button directly below this video. Use this physical action as your powerful decree that you trust the incoming provision, and watch how quickly the windows open for you. Give freely from a place of supreme victory. The heavy season of bitter isolation is finally breaking off your shoulders right now. But heaven always works through the power of divine connection. There is someone in your phone contacts right now who is staring at their screen in total despair because they are terrified of tomorrow and struggling to survive exactly like you were. Use your healed hands to be their ultimate rescue tonight. Pass this vital message on to them right now. When you share my word with a broken soul, you instantly set the heavenly law of multiplication into motion. Share this message to save their peace tonight. Watch how quickly your own massive harvest multiplies when you become a beacon of light for others, because you are no longer a helpless victim, but a powerful savior to your entire bloodline. The enemy will absolutely try to return when you are sleeping. He will try to whisper the old lies of poverty and fear back into your mind tomorrow morning. Do not let him steal the profound revelation you received in this room. Subscribe to this sanctuary so tomorrow brings another word of protection directly to your feed, and secure your spiritual perimeter before the darkness even tries to approach your home. Your massive financial breakthrough is fully authorized and waiting for you, but you must officially sign the heavenly receipt to claim what is already yours. Go into the comments right now and type the numbers 777 as your final signature. Leave it there as an eternal monument of your unshakable faith, and let the darkness see that you have claimed your massive inheritance with absolute confidence. You are walking out of this space as a completely transformed warrior. The heavy burdens of your painful past have been permanently left at the door. The people who plotted your downfall will watch from a distance as you rise to unprecedented heights, because they cannot curse what heaven has already blessed with such immense power. Your bloodline is completely safe under the shadow of my mighty wings. Keep your head held incredibly high as you step confidently into tomorrow. You are a chosen vessel of massive and untouchable grace. The vault is wide open, and the endless resources of heaven are flowing directly into your open hands right now. Rest well tonight in the absolute certainty of my fierce protection. The massive storm is over, and your glorious season of effortless receiving has finally begun. Go forward in absolute peace and profound heavenly power. You are deeply loved and fiercely protected by the Creator of the entire universe. Do not look back at the broken pieces of your painful past. Your eyes must remain fixed on the glorious horizon of your new empire, because you are stepping into a beautiful reality where you will never have to beg again. Receive this final blessing and step quietly into your ultimate rest.